morning, everybody. It's Monday, April 10th, 2023. I've got a couple of service calls I'm going to do today. Right now I'm headed to one where there's a couple of very old ductless units that the guy is looking to either repair or replace. The building has been abandoned for a little while, so the guy just doesn't know what condition the things are in. So we're going to go out there, we're going to take a look at them, and we're going to either replace or repair them. So apparently they're like really old Mr Slim units. They haven't been used in apparently 10 years or so. So we're going to take a look at them and see what they're doing. Then I think we have another service call at a library. Upstairs unit isn't working. We've done some work on the downstairs, but the construction department has. The downstairs unit we've done some work with, but now they're having trouble upstairs apparently. So we're going to take a look at that and see what's going on there. So stay tuned. We're going to have a busy day today, and hopefully we get you some good content to look at. Stay tuned.
We Wawa.
Looks like Big Papa was here.
If you tried Wawa's new and improved.
We surely are climbing today. I have worked on these units before, but they're not the ones I'm working on today. So those little guys there are what I'm working on. The power was disconnected to them. We turned them on. This one actually came right on. Wow, it's working. It's not working that great, but it's working. Turn this one on. We got a buzzing. Fan started. We got something buzzing. Let me turn this one off. Oh, we cut out on an overload or something. Sounds like the compressor was trying to start but didn't. Let's turn them off until we can look at them. But the main gas was turned off to a heater that's up here. So I'll show you where the gas was off at. Down there. And our regulator is over there. So I turned the gas on. I heard it hit the regulator. So I'm just going to go up here and bleed it off and see if this green heck heater fires. Turn the gas on. Yeah. Bleed it till we smell gas. Do not try this at home unless you're experienced. We're going to take this and we're going to tighten this back down now. after I got it all bled off, the blower was running and these belts are super floppy. So they're BP 92 inch belts. I'm gonna try to tighten them up for now until we get some new belts for it. So loosen these up here on all four sides, and then there's these adjustments. So I've already got this one loose. On the other side's being a bum, so I'm gonna put some WD-40 on it, clean it up, and see if I can get it loosened up. All right, I couldn't film the end of that repair on that rooftop heater because I had the owner was, or the customer was helicoptering, but I did get that belt tightened up and turned back on, so that heater's working now. I'm gonna get a couple of belts for that thing, and so it has two brand new B92 belts on it. So, but we're on this mini split now. Old mini split. Sometimes you'll find capacitors on these things. All right, we're gonna hook our meter up to this thing and see what kind of amperage it's giving us once we turn it on. It's giving us nothing. You know what? It might have tripped the breaker when I started it earlier. I have no voltage. All right, I called the customer because he was down there to reset this breaker and see if it comes on. Voltage now. Let's see, yeah. Got the front cover off of it, and look, oh, we got a capacitor back in there. So we'll check that capacitor first and see if it's good or not. I got enough tape off to get the leads off so we can test our capacitor here. 38.79. It is a 40 microfarad capacitor, so this capacitor should be good enough to start this unit. So let's look elsewhere. All right, I just got through testing for shorts. The compressor doesn't have any shorts. I didn't detect any shorts on anything else either, so we might just have a lock rotor compressor. So let me try throwing power again, see if it'll start. I get a click, but it's not starting. So I'm gonna turn it off, see if I can go downstairs and program it to come on so I can be up here with it when I turn it on. All right, so really that P8 error code is just saying there's an abnormality from the outdoor unit, which means it lost power, is what I'm thinking. So what's weird is that indoor head must get its power from a different voltage source, because I have the power disconnected up here, and it was, the indoor display still had power, and when I turned it on I heard a click. So these aren't like the newer units where it gets its power from the outdoor unit. This must have a external power source that feeds the air handler, and all we have is control wiring up here. Matter of fact, it's just fed, the control wiring is just fed with thermostat wire. Put our meter here. We're gonna turn this baby on. We started. Got one fan not coming on. Yep, she's locked. We did start. I don't have any power panels on this thing, so I don't know how long it's gonna run for. Let me put some panels back on it. Alright, so really that P8 error code is just saying there's an abnormality from the outdoor unit, which means it lost power, is what I'm thinking. So what's weird is that indoor head must get its power from a different voltage source, because I have the power disconnected up here, and the indoor display still had power, and when I turned it on I heard a click. So these aren't like the newer units where it gets its power from the outdoor unit. This must have a external power source that feeds the air handler, and all we have is control wiring up here. Matter of fact, it's just fed, the control wiring is just fed with thermostat wire. Gonna put our meter here. We're gonna turn this baby on. We started. Got one fan not coming on. Yep, she's locked. We did start. I don't have any power panels on this thing, so I don't know how long it's going to run for. Let me put some panels back on it. Alright, well, I'm not going to let this guy put any money into this thing, but we got it running. That's good. Data tag on it. After that last call there, I stopped at Lowe's so I could get a set of meter leads, because mine have tore up. The black one I chopped in half or did something to, so I was improvising with two red ones, but decided to stop and get a new set. So now we're on our way to Denton, Maryland, to the library there, to check out the upstairs HVAC. Let's see if I can back out of this parking spot without hitting anybody. Let's see, back into here. And now we're good to pull out. It's tight. So yeah, we did some work on the downstairs system apparently. The construction department did, so I don't really know if they put in they put in a new unit or did duct work. I'm not really sure what they did there, so, but they're having issues with 2 zones upstairs. So we're gonna take a look there and see what's going on with the upstairs system. But first, yeah, let's get some Chick-fil-A up in us. All right, so this is one of the units in question here at the library. We were getting 5 flashes, which is I'm sorry, 4 flashes, which is a hard lockout, can only be cleared with power cycle. And that's it. So I went into service facts of the unit. And apparently that lockout, hard lockout, occurs after 9th trip of the low pressure cutout switch, C note 6. During a hard lockout, the X2 relay opens so that the Y signal does not pass through. And it gives you, every time it trips, what it does. And it basically goes into a longer lockout. So that means that the 9th time it tripped, we got a hard lockout. So that means the low pressure switch is opening for some reason. So I got it hooked up right now. It's running right now. I'm going to hook up my gauges and see what's going on. So right now it's running in cooling mode, and then we're going to run it in heating mode and see what happens then too. So stand by. All right, so here I'm running in air conditioning mode, and I'm about to switch it over into heat mode just by pulling the wire off the reversing valve. You can see we're low on charge right now anyway, but we're going to pull the wire here in 1 second, and there we go, just pulled it. And we're going to let the pressures even out, and you're going to see it's going to drop down pretty low, and that's where our low pressure event is coming from. So you see it dropping down now. It's going to drop, then it's going to come back up, and then drop and come back up, but eventually it's going to settle out really low. Let's see, look how low it's going now. And here it is bottomed out in heat mode. We're right about 48 psi and dropping. This thing's pretty low. That's where our low pressure event's coming in at. All right, from what I just showed, looks like we are low on charge. We're low on charge on this one, and it's even worse when it's running in heating mode. In air conditioning, it's still low, but it's not so low, it's tripping the low pressure switch. So we're gonna need to do a leak search here and find out where this leak is, fix it, and charge it back up. I haven't seen the air handler yet, but we're gonna need to leak search that, leak search out here and everywhere in between. We'll find the leak and get it fixed. This is just a diagnosis today. This unit right here was also out, which does a larger area, a bunch of office spaces. So that one was out too. I cycled power to it and it came back on. We'll see what's going on with that one too. We're gonna have to quote a leak search on this one. So one thing my company does is we don't just dump charge into a unit if it's low. We look for the leak first, and we quote them a leak search, which is a flat rate. And if it takes more than that flat rate, if it's something bizarre that we need to get into, then we'll quote that time and material. But a standard leak check, we quote a flat rate. we come in, we find the leak, and then we quote for what it's going to take to fix it. So your flat rate price will get you to find the leak, and then we quote to fix it. So if it's a bad coil, we quote to replace the coil, or quote to replace whatever's leaking, to repair that, plus the refrigerant. We got a bunch of units up here. Our company is in the process of installing a few more units, so looks like that one's being installed. This one here, this one's been here. We have an existing city multi-system, and it looks like this unit's being installed also. They got some line sets brazed in. This one's existing. It's a right good amount of units up here. It's a rather large space, rather large building. Not sure how long our construction guys have been working on this for. We're two separate departments. I really have no idea what those guys do on a day-to-day basis. They have a bunch of jobs going on. It looks like they've got some thermostat wiring left to do and stuff like that. But we're working on the existing stuff, so we'll get them a leak search quoted on this guy. Alright, I got the panel up against this one, so it runs properly. We're going to hook up our gauges on this one. Liquid line temperature there, and our suction temperature there. Just hook it up. Whenever you got a condenser that has a panel like this, you got to put the panel back on, or the thing won't run right. It'll just pull in a bunch of air, and it won't be pulling the air through the coil like it's supposed to. You can have it off for a couple minutes, but after that you got to put it back on. It'll go out on high pressure. Switch over to the Testo app and see how this one's running. I think it's safe to say this one's a little low too. This had a bunch of oil on it. This Schrader right here. I took that down one. There's a bunch of oil on that. Let me shut this one down. I'm going to look at some stuff inside the unit. This model unit, these filter dryers here are famous for leaking, rusting out, rubbing out. They don't look bad here though. But look at all this oil here. And I didn't just do that putting my gauges on. That's a lot of oil right there. That very well might be where our leak is. That looks pretty crummy. That's hot gas coming through here. That's why that's all melted. Yeah, all that oil there, it's no good. Where there's oil, there's refrigerant. Remember that when you're doing a leak search. When you first do a leak search, find out, look all over, See where you got oil stains at. If you got oil, chances are there's refrigerant. Well, I soaked all this up. I haven't found anything yet, but I knew better than to put my gauges on this fitting here before leak testing it, because I might have very well fixed it just by putting my hose on there. Sometimes these Schraders here get stuck. They'll get stuck and leak. It's not leaking now. Doesn't look like anything else is leaking either. Bugger. Well, that's not a bad thing that I fixed it, but you always want proof that something's leaking. So we're still gonna have to do a leak check on this one. Check this one before we put the cap back on. It's pretty good. Alright, let's turn this one back on. Alright, we are going to go look for these air handlers now. I think we need the staff of this building to open up attic space for us because they're behind locked door. I didn't get to film the air handlers because I left my phone up on the roof, and it's a huge pain in the ass getting from the roof to the attic access of this place, so I wasn't gonna make that trip again because it was a pain in the ass. But all right, well, I hope you guys like this video. It's kind of like a day in the life of what I do. I'm gonna try to do a few more like this, probably just like a couple service calls each video, so stay tuned for that. But that Mr. Slim unit, the guy's going to take that out and he's going to put in a 3-in-1. It's going to replace the one that's there, plus 2 more offices that he wants space cooling in. So we pretty much secured that job. But if you like this kind of content, please like and consider subscribing. I'm going to try to do a video a day or a video every other day or something like that of just various repairs. So all right, that's going to be it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.